What's up, bro?
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. We are fired up.
We are fired up.
We have 100% more Wayne.
100% more Wayne.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Fortified. Now fortified with vitamins, minerals, and Wayne.
That's it. I got a little tired of seeing you bring Tanner to the dance. You know what I mean? And I was like, hey, I love the guy, but like he's dancing in my car.
Yeah, you're like, bro. What's up?
Yeah.
I thought we had something going.
It's good to be back.
Yes.
It's good to be back.
Good to have you back. How was your fourth? I know you had
it was amazing.
Big doings.
Man, it was so cool. I had all 5 of my kids, which is like a miracle between all the logistics.
Yes.
So that was amazing. And my oldest even flew his girlfriend down from Alaska, so she was here. So I mean, we had 5 kids, 2 fish, 1 dog. I mean, it was the whole
partridge
thing.
in a pear tree.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Right
it was
on.
Amazing.
All right, dude.
It was so good. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh man, so we got like a lot of moving parts. What is this? It's July.
A lot of great stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
We got 2 things coming up. We got coaches training in a couple weeks, which is amazing, and Build at the end of the month, which is going to be incredible. So
Build
I cannot
Dallas,
wait for that.
EXP.
Yes, it's going to be phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
And so you are doing presentations, correct?
I am. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. About what?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a sneak peek?
Yes,
Is there a teaser?
Yeah. It would be a teaser even for me at this point. It would even be a surprise for me.
It's like you're like, I can't wait to show up and see what I talk about.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Nicole. I was like, "Hey, here's like the 5 things," and I was like, "I need to pick them." So we're working. I just want it to be very, very impactful and relevant to like. I want people to be able to take some of that and go use it right away.
Yes. And that's one of the things that is or can be problematic for those big, like day-long pep rally kind of things.
Yeah.
Because like, don't get me wrong, I loved it. And even like in Orlando where Ed Milet was like the keynote or whatever, it's like, well, okay, all I can remember is everybody cried during Ed Milet. What the takeaways were, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was like just one of those heart-wringing things where and I'm taking screenshots of the stuff because it was tied into recovery and stuff. And as a result, he got new podcast listeners. I know that
there you go.
because I'm subscribed.
Yeah. Well, no, we're with this build. We're really excited. Like in the past, it's been more about like recruiting and things like that.
Yes.
This time, like it's a little bit of like how you build your team and stuff. But man, it is all about how do you win in this market. You know what I mean?
Right on.
Right, and all about like how do you get stagnant listings to sell? How do you keep sellers? How do you get so it's going to be very, very tactical, which is going to be I'm excited.
I love and obviously the tactics of keeping the sellers engaged, or because it's like there's a lot of stuff you do sometimes just for the sake of making the seller feel good.
Well, and there's a lot of things people don't. If you've been in the business for 3 or 5 years, you never learned what we learned many, many moons ago, which is how do you keep a seller excited for 6 months?
Yes.
Like how do you do those?
123 days on market. Now what?
Yeah, people are like, oh, it's taking so much time to work with people. I'm like, man, you have no clue. Like you want to do 38 short sales and tell me about like time consuming stuff?
Pack a lunch, bro.
Man, pack lunch. Yeah. So it's great, but it really is. There's a lot of skill that's needed right now, and most people need to understand what it is. So, which leads to, there's a lot of stress going on in the market.
Yes, and so oh my god. So one of the best things was Amazon accidentally delivering me an extra one of these. Technically, they delivered it to somebody else in my complex, and the hall monitor of the quad saw my name on it and came at like 10 o'clock at night. Hey, there's a package for you over on the other side.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, thank you, crazy Karen lady.
Very freaky observant, but thank you.
It's like, I'm glad to know that this little,
what do you know about me that I don't know about me?
Is out there patrolling the grounds after dark.
Yes.
But okay. So we got stress matrix. Oh,
there's a lot of different kinds of stress, right? Like stress isn't necessarily bad, right? Like you're literally wearing ankle weights, right? Which is or ankle monitor. We don't know, either double ankle monitor or ankle weights, whatever. But like some stress is good, right? Like to learn and grow, and like our body needs stress to get better. But then we have like yellow light stress and red light stress. Yellow light stress is, it's some tension. It can kind of slow us down, mess us up a little bit. But a lot of people are dealing with red light stress, which is like overwhelming and paralyzing, and then you kind of start seeing threats everywhere. So it'll mess you up. I don't know where these slides are or where we're going.
We're going this way.
Go this way. Okay, there we go. That was dangerous.
Yeah.
And here's some of the biggest causes of stress, right? Like, this is huge. Overcommitting
as self-sabotage.
This is the best way. If you want to invoke some stress, these are for most realtors especially, this is how you can self-sabotage. These are the best go-to self-sabotage ways. Let's say it that way. So overcommitting, right? Which is like, hey, I know there's only this many hours, but I'm going to commit to this much stuff. Which a lot of times comes from, and this is part of it, like excessive optimism, right? Like if I have 5 minutes before my next appointment, what my mind thinks I'm able to get done in 5 minutes is because I probably pulled that off one time in 1963.
And
you know
that's
what I mean?
the bar.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm gonna do 20 minutes of stuff in the next 3 minutes, which is insanity. But like we're overly optimistic, and it's a trap we keep falling into.
Yes.
A big one right now, though. This is the big one I'm seeing right now: resistance and resentment. There is a lot. Like I was talking with one of my clients the other day. And I said, hey, hold on. There's something you said at the beginning of this conversation, and that's what's really going on. Because she was talking about this big situation, right? And got into all this story. And I was like, I don't think that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because what she said in the beginning was, I shouldn't have to, right? I shouldn't have to put this house back in the market. I shouldn't have to do this. I should. But it was like the resistance.
Yep.
And
Let's
the
talk
resentment.
about expectations for a minute.
Exactly. And I was like, they're doing a construction project. It's going to cost more. We all know that.
Yeah.
It's gonna take longer.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Scope creep.
Like, why are you resisting reality? But it's because she had overcommitted and was overly optimistic, which led to her getting into this resistance and resentment instead of just accepting the reality of the situation.
And like you said at the beginning, I shouldn't have to. Well, okay,
Yes.
that automatically tells me that you had either unrealistic expectations.
Yep.
And some inner monologue telling you how everything should go.
Exactly,
And the minute that
yes.
it doesn't match up,
then we're all ticked off.
Yeah.
So like, here's what's funny: the experience was already going to be not super fun, but our mindset around it makes it
super
twice
fun.
as hard. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is already going to be hard.
Yes.
Why would I make it hardest? Right? Like because we're amazing. Right. So some of the other ones are, we're tied to performance. It's like, man, if I don't get this on the ranking sheet, whatever, like all that BS. Emotional labor with tough clients. Like it is, part of this and this is we take on, our clients' emotions because we actually give a rip. Like it's exhausting to do all that, which can lead to some stress, lack of boundaries, isolation, right? Trying to do everything on your own. And then there really is a lot of like uncertainty and predictability. And I think one of the greatest gifts I give my clients is the ability to go, hey, let's make a plan that you believe in, that, hey, when we do these things, we can pretty much predict the result. And when then there's this whole sense of peace that floods in when they actually have that, instead of like just work hard every day.
Where it's like, okay, well, I know if I do these things, it usually turns out like this.
Right.
So ... do these things.
Yeah.
And now that, because the freak out usually comes from too many options.
Yes.
And no concrete path.
Too many options, or the other freak out comes from I've committed to 80 hours of stuff in the 60 hours I have to work. Right?
Yes.
And which we do, but that's what really messes us up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been, so like yesterday I had some meetings and everything, and a lot of it was, we can do the front end stuff in the studio like all day long, every day. But there's a shitload of post-production and moving parts in the background that if you want everything super sexy and super fast, okay, we're going to have to get more people involved.
Yeah.
And more people cost money.
Yeah.
It's
like pick one of those three, right?
Yeah.
The triangle. Yes. So anyway, so here's the first thing that I would say if we were coaching somebody, I would have them look at this and I would say, so for you, Rick, what is your best self-sabotage method? So like, what's your go-to to invoke stress in your world?
I would say identity tied to performance.
Yeah.
And it's the entrepreneurial thing where there's no delineation between the business and me.
Yes.
And so now the flip side of that is, as we get bigger and as I'm able to delegate and as I have like all these kick-ass creatives and stuff under, my umbrella, then it becomes like, oh, wait a minute. I have got too much time on my hands. It feels weird and it feels unsettling, even though everything's getting done. And on a certain level, better stuff is being made. Objectively better.
Sure.
And it's like, okay, well, that feels weird. But it was back to, I used to have the lone wolf thing where it was literally 5 years of, if I didn't do it, nothing got done.
Correct.
And then having to learn.
Well, like you said, your identity is tied to getting it done. So you stay on your own, right? And then you have to do it all.
Yes. And I hated having somebody ask me a question about something. Like Tyler just emailed me and I'm like, oh shit, what did somebody not do, or what, but there again, it's like, it's that where it's like isolation and tied to performance, and it's, I don't know if it's entrepreneurial or just human nature, but it used to be where any kind of critique of the output, the product, the content, the business or whatever was like a personal assault or like some sort of indictment on me as a human.
Yes.
And now I've gotten past that. And really the real way to get past it was to actually teach the guys.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, that's great. Yeah. When you're teaching, kind of unpacking for somebody else, it's great for you.
It's like, oh, I'm listening too.
Yeah.
And telling Cruz, because Cruz came in from just the pure creative side. And so if somebody didn't like something, like, that stings, and it's like, that's not you. And then we had one, and it's like, I will use this as the cardinal example. I tested positive for COVID, whatever that was, 22 or 23. So I felt fine, but I couldn't go.
Right.
Because it's like, you can't have it like, hey, you tested positive.
Yeah.
You just still showed up. But Cruz went back-to-back nights, photo and video. It couldn't have been more tailor-made for examples. Day one, they love the photos, hate the video. Day two, they hate the photos, love the video. And it was like, okay, well, back-to-back days, back-to-back, same time. It's like they're both right and they're both wrong.
Right.
That's the takeaway. It's like you didn't do anything different for either one, and they each liked and loathed something different.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
And it's important to take pride in our work, right? But it can't be, your identity needs to be.
It can't be you.
Yes. And it's taken a whole lot of therapy to figure all this out for me, right? You know what I mean? It's like, what's your value? Who are you without this, right? Because I almost took my life because my identity was so tied to my performance. And when performance took a nosedive, there was nothing
then
left,
you
right?
took a nosedive.
So like, you got to go back to like isn't it interesting that a baby has like this insane amount of value and they've done nothing. Right. And then as an adult, like we've done all these things, but we feel like we have no value. Right.
Yeah.
It's so weird. So like that's huge. But here's a tangible cost of holding on to it, right? Like missed opportunities, you got strained relationships, you burn out, right? Reputation damage. But what's interesting is usually like the stressed person and the unstressed person, usually they're not working more hours, right? But it's like what they're doing in the hours, their perception, everything else, which leads us to, we'll see if it's here. And this is what really happens, right? For most stress, we resist reality, right? We resist that, like, okay, I just have to redo my calendar because I have too much, right? It's like there's 8 things and I have time for 5, right? So resistance, I resist that, right? Then I start resenting, like, well, this is stupid, right? It's like you built the plate, you put the stuff on there, you chose 8 instead of 5, right? Then we get exhausted because it's really hard to get all done, or we're burning the candle at both ends. Then we break down and we just have this cycle over and over.
Lather, rinse, repeat,
right? And what you have to realize is, okay, what's my go-to self-sabotage ways? And then, like, how would I coach a friend? Or if I was giving somebody else in my exact same position advice, what would I tell them to do? And it starts with acceptance and action, right? Acceptance of like, okay, there's this many hours I'm able to work in a day. Accept that. Okay, what are the most important things to do within the hour? And then I have to say no to some things. I love the quote that says, a great idea that you can't implement well is a bad idea.
Yep.
Right? As entrepreneurs, like, great idea, I have to pursue it. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's in my blood to pursue.
We were talking earlier before we went live about the space downstairs.
Right.
Where, like, there is a subroutine running on my hard drive now at all times where I'm just obsessed over down there. And more than anything, it's like, it's all your fault, or it's partially your fault. No, because we've had such a kick-ass, like, communal thing grow organically, and like the events that we've done and all of that. And I'm like, okay, well, I want that on call.
Yes.
I want,
create that all the time. Yes.
I want that because it's like I'm wired to be like, okay, well, if I take 2 of these and drink some of that and then maybe smoke that, then ... Nirvana.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like, okay, well, then I need that to happen all the time, which that's categorically impossible. But like downstairs, I'm thinking like, oh man, if we had everybody involved and we could do like monthly things and quarterly things, and then it could be, training and content, and
it could be huge. So here's what I would walk you through. Right. Here's the idea. What would be a hell yeah? So like, what would a hell yeah look like? And then on the other side of that, what would be the downs? Like, what would be the worst possible solution? Right. I rent it, sign this big lease, and then nobody signs up, and I got this extra bill every single, like, whatever it is. Right.
Yes.
Right. But then the third element of that is, what are the components that would need to, like, what, so for it to be a hell yes, what are the 2 or 3 outcomes? Like, what are the outcomes that would need to happen for this to be phenomenal? Then what is it going to take? What would actually be required? And most people, they don't even want to, like, look at that box.
Yeah, no, I just
like, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm just gonna figure it out. Right? And it's like, love you. What is it actually gonna take?
Right.
Because you just told me, I'm talking about coaching calls. Like, you just told me 8 minutes ago that you were overwhelmed and had no more time. And that's why you didn't get these 3 things done. And now you're telling me you're going to take this on and you're just going to get it done, right? We're just going to figure it out, right? Which is I love you. I love that you're such a high achiever, right? And you're after it, but like, let's stop for a second and let's accept and embrace reality and then choose action. If I'm okay if you pursue this idea, but I'm only okay if you pursue it if you tell me what we're taking off the plate. So if you told me that your plate's already full and you want to add this thing, either you got to tell me what we're going to leverage to do different or what's coming off so we can put this on. I'll support anything as long as the math.
Yeah, as long as it makes sense.
Right. And here's the hard thing, and this is such a good one for people listening to get. And this goes back to that whole good to great thing. You have to say no to a lot of good things so that you can say yes to a handful of great. That is so hard for us to do. But you look around, the people that have succeeded at the highest level, they've said no. They've said no to an exorbitant amount of good things that you have no idea about, so they can say yes to a handful of great things.
Yeah, and again, I freely admit it's like, oh man, I'd jump right to the winner's circle and the victory lap and just like the after party or whatever. And I get stuck or I get fixated on something where it's like, okay, that feeling like we had when we did like Throttle Up. You know, and there's 50 people in the room and everybody's presentation kicks ass and the content is stellar. Yep. It's like, okay, let's Polaroid snapshot. Let's manufacture that on demand and get it to where we can have that all the time.
Yes.
And that may or may not be feasible, but nevertheless, that's the thing that drives me. And the other thing was that just the way everything has happened organically, I like throwing crazy shit out there and seeing like, also too, it's a barometer of like, okay, am I just insane? You know, like, hey, let's do another thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's that whole communal vibe. Cause I used to be a super isolationist. I was the lone wolf guy where like, you know, I went from behind the camera. Nobody knew who I was or what I did to where like now this, and it's like, okay, I like this better.
There you go.
You know, more. And, but in a sensible way.
Yeah.
So now, what is your, so like I actually had the resentment thing where I used to, when I was brand new into the networking world or whatever, I'd said yes to everything.
Yeah.
And I would overcommit.
Right.
And then I'd get pissed at you for inviting me.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Be like, damn it, Wayne. And my first hack for that was the Google Calendar, where you can go into your Gmail and you can set it up to where it'll put events on your calendar, but it won't say yes.
Interesting.
So it leaves it blocked, but only visible.
Yeah.
Blocked visually, not blocked as far as you saying yes. And I couldn't tell you how whenever I figured that out, it was like a complete and total unlock for I'd be like, oh yeah, dude, just send me the calendar invite.
Yeah.
Oh, I never respond to it because I have it in my calendar.
Yes.
And then it's like, if I can, I will.
So how do you do it the way you're talking about?
It's in the settings and the back end of Gmail when you set it up. So it's basically like if anybody sends you a date in or an event in your email, you can actually add it to your calendar, but it won't commit you yes or no.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Facebook interested.
Yes. Yeah.
But very non-committal.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Perfect.
Facebook played it correctly there.
Perfect.
But once I started doing that, it basically allowed me to, obviously there were things I was just going to say yes and immediately, but it also allowed me to go to things that in the moment I would have had no intention, but then on day of, it's like, oh, hey, I'm not doing
all the time. I can do that.
I'll swing by Wayne's thing. And then I pop in and there's no pressure.
Correct.
I don't feel like I have to go perform. Nobody's really expecting me. I didn't even say maybe, you know, and that was a complete and total game changer. And so now I just let everything fly into my calendar, and it's like there's probably 30 things on there this week that I didn't go to, but I might do it next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Any parting shots?
Man, I think acceptance is the biggest thing. you know, it's like acceptance is like, there's only so much of me. I need to get clear on what my commitments, you know, here's my filter for what I say yes to and what I say no to, kind of get that in place. But accept that you're the one putting things on there.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And start taking more ownership for like, if it's on my calendar, it's because I allowed it to go on there.
Yes.
Right. Set timers, do whatever you got to do to work.
I'm curious about the optimism trap. Is that, are you meaning there that like,
so for me,
it'll be fine. It'll be.
So this week we had a gal on a call who is, she said, I really hate that I keep getting to work late. And I said, well, how often? She's like, 2 to 3 times a week. And I was like, well, that is a lot, right? That's almost all the time.
That's chronic. Yeah.
And what happens was most mornings she goes to the gym and then she's trying to get 1 or 2 more things done, thinking that her get ready routine and drive to work will be perfect. Meaning like no
Optimum.
red lights,
yeah,
right? Like it's going to be the greatest. Everything's all green lights, so right, the whole thing, right? Excessive optimism. So she was leaving at the last possible moment when if everything, the sun, the moon, the stars aligned, she might be there on time.
Which happens twice a week,
right? So I said, well, what are you gonna do? And she goes, well, I'm gonna work harder. I'm just gonna whatever. And I was like, BS, like whatever. Everything you just said is not going to work. What you need to do is set an alarm that, hey, when that alarm goes off, you stop working out, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit longer than you think it should be. And then if you start getting to work 5 times out of 5, then we're game on. If it's 4 out of 5, we need to go a little. But like you're going to set an alarm, and when that alarm goes off, you have to pivot and go. Right?
The math has to math.
Yes. So don't rely on your brain, which is going to continue to tell you what it's been telling you, what's gotten you where you've gotten. Yeah. It's not going to be fine.
So let's get out there and take action, man.
Take action, my friend.
All right, brother.
Let's go look at the space.
Yes. And then also be like, hey.